Hi, my name is Sophie Jordan. I'm the author of the Firelight series and my new release, Reign of Shadows. I'm very excited that I'll be coming to Argentina to tell all of you to come out and see me on Thursday, May 5th at the Auditorio de Leonos. And I'll also be signing at the Buenos Aires Book Fair Saturday, May 7th at 6 p.m. So please come and see me. I can't wait to see all of you. And the next thing I'm going to do is answer some questions that were sent to me. How is the history of Reign of Shadows born? Well, my idea for Reign of Shadows came about because I was feeling very nostalgic for my Firelight series. Just that kind of epic, big world series where there are world stakes, you know, life, death, the fate of the world, and that cast of characters that is larger than life. I was actually kind of piddling around and working on a contemporary YA book at the time. That's what I thought would be my next project, but it just felt really quiet to me. So I just decided, what is it that I really feel in the mood to write? And it was just, it was that epic story, but also this kind of conglomeration of everything that I love in TV and books and film. I came up with the idea of a world of darkness and a world that's dying, and how that would be. I just filled in all the blanks and I came up with the characters, and it was just scary and amazing and romantic, because I always have a romance. So that's how I came up with that idea for Reign of Shadows. And my second, what expectations do you have for the Reign of Shadows saga? Well, it's a 2-book series, so it is a duology. The second book is titled Rise of Fire, so I'm really excited. I love that title. And, you know, it's just one of those rare scenarios where I knew the ending of the whole series before I started book 1. So I think it's something that all my Firelight readers are going to enjoy a lot. Just because by that same thing, like I was missing writing Firelight so much, and I wanted to write something that felt kind of similar in tone and style. That's what I think Reign of Shadows will accomplish. It will satisfy a lot of my Firelight fans. Third question, do I get feedback about my writing as I work, or do I hold back until it's finished? I don't get, okay, this is how it works. I start forming the idea for the book in a book series. And at that stage, I get a lot of feedback. I get feedback from writer friends. I get feedback from my agent, and then feedback from my editor. So just conceptualizing the book and the book series, get a lot of feedback. But once all that's like approved, the book is sold, I know this is going to be the next thing I'm writing. I even usually have a pub date. I sit down and I write it, and I don't get a lot of feedback at that point. And then when I'm finished and I turn it in to my editor, I'm back to the stage of getting a lot of feedback again. And we work through several revisions, and then it goes, before it even goes into copy edits, and then I get more feedback from copy editors. How important is it for me, the opinions of readers when I'm writing a sequel? You know, it would be kind of an awesome thing for me to have all this opinions, and suggestions before I go into the sequel after everybody's read the first book. But that's just not the way it works, because as far as my production schedule goes, the second book is usually finished before I even sit down. The second book is finished before the first book releases to the world. That's what I'm trying to say. So, for example, I'm coming to Argentina, and I'm going to meet so many of you, and so many of you will have read Reign of Shadows at that point, and I'm done with Rise of Fire. So you're going to have a lot of opinions, and it's going to be awesome to hear how y'all are receiving the book. But the second book, the sequel, is done. So I'm hopefully it'll be exciting, because I'll hear about things that you'll want to see more of, and you're going to see more of those things. So my next question, tell us a little bit about your writing process. Do you have scheduled writing time? My writing process is, you know, it's funny. I heard another writer recently describe their writing process, and it was very similar to my own. But every writer has a different process, and I don't, you know, whatever works for you and what works for me is I write in spurts. It's basically, I'm a marathon writer. So I could have 6 months to write a book, but odds are I'm going to write the book in the last 3 months, and I just marathon it. I crush it at the end. I think that just gets me really in the zone. For a week, I might write anywhere from 2 up to 4,000 words a day. And it's almost like euphoric. I'm so in that world and I'm so in those characters. That's what works for me. And then when I finish, I kind of crash. It's like coming out and I'm like, oh, here's the world again. I look up, there's my friends, there's my family, and there's TV and there's other books. And I just sort of relax for a few weeks. I just veg out and I watch TV, I shop, I read other books, and then I go until I'm ready to dive back into the next marathon. Okay, the next part of that question. Oh, do my characters or plots come first? That just depends on the project. In Firelight, Jacinda, the character of Jacinda came first. One day, the idea of the girl dropped into my head, and I knew she was, a paranormal entity or a creature, and that she would descend from a race to dragons. I knew she would be connected to dragons, and that she was the last of her kind to breathe fire. And of course, that made her a commodity. And then from there, that's just where I went. Like, I filled in the blanks after that. I built the world up around the idea of who Jacinda was. And for Reign of Shadows, it's not necessarily, I guess the plot came first. In that case, the setting came first. And I guess to a degree, that's the conflict. So much of Reign of Shadows, the world and the setting is the conflict. It's a world of darkness that has, that is ultimately dying, that has 1 hour of daylight a day. And so 23 hours are darkness. And in that 23 hours, monsters exist. They come out from the ground and they hunt everybody. So that was what I came up with first. I came up with the idea of the world. And then I just tried to decide who the characters were going to be, who the main characters were going to be. I was very intrigued with writing a two-character narrative. I wanted to follow a girl and to follow a guy and have them come together and intersect. Do you do any research when writing? I just basically, sometimes questions come up as I'm writing the book and I just stop and I look them up. In the case of Reign of Shadows, I looked up questions regarding nocturnal living and nocturnal creatures, nocturnal habitats, which there are a few, at least under the ocean, and there are creatures, of course, that are largely nocturnal, that's when they thrive and live. So I would look up, some of their habits, because in Reign of Shadows, the creatures that had been nocturnal before the eclipse, this is sort of their heyday. This is when they can thrive. The world is theirs. Did the saga Firelight exceed expectations? It definitely did. It was my first young adult series. I didn't really know what to expect, so when I came into it, I had no idea that it would be received so well and so well globally. It's sold to, I think it's been translated to over 28 languages. I don't even have the exact number anymore. It's a lot. And I get contacted daily from readers via social media or email that are just coming to it now, even after several years that it's been out in the world. So, long live Firelight, it doesn't die, and I'm very excited about that. So the next question, why do you think the romantic novel is not well seen favorably by the critics? I'm not really sure. I don't pay too much to what critics are saying. I pay attention to the readers because they reach out to me. But I know when Firelight released, it was well received, at least here in the United States. Booklist, Kirkus, Voya, all of them gave it favorable marks and, had great things to say about it. I'm sure there could be some critics that didn't, but it's so, books, it's an art form, just like music. Not everybody's going to love it, but I just focus on, the people who it did reach and the people that it did resonate with. And what expectations do you have for meeting with the Argentine readers? It's almost feels so weird saying, I feel like I'm finally getting to meet all these long lost relatives because I've heard from my Argentina readers and fans for so long. And it's almost like I'm finally coming home, even though I've never been there, but I can't wait. And I imagine it's going to be wild. And I just can't wait. I also remember in college when I studied Spanish, we studied from a textbook that it didn't feature any other it didn't feature Mexico. It featured Argentina in all the photos. And I remember staring at these photos of Buenos Aires thinking it looked so amazing and thinking to myself, oh, one day maybe I'll go there. I'd love to go there. I wish I could go there. And here I am, fast forward many years later, I'll be coming to you soon, and I cannot wait. So I think that's all for now. Again, I hope I see you at any of the events that I'll be at in Buenos Aires very soon. I can't believe it. Bye. Thank you.